Okay, guys, hey, thanks for letting me be here, okay? It means a lot to me. I'll talk about that as I close up when I speak with you all today. But I want to just kind of get the mental juices going a little bit, right? Transition in. But so, what do you, anybody? What do we read that for me?
Now here.
Oh, what?
Now here.
Okay, right, yeah, right. So, opportunity is nowhere, or opportunity is now here. Right? Perspective's everything. Okay? And just because somebody sees it one way, just be humble. Okay? So that's the lesson in that. Be humble to recognize that no matter if you read it that first time and you said, #opportunity is nowhere. Think about how many times in your life you thought you were in dire straits or on a field, right? And you all of a sudden just that becomes the narrative. Just be humble enough in everything you do, and you've got to practice that. Just like anything else you want to do in your life, you got to practice it. Be humble enough to realize in that moment that you may not actually be right. That maybe opportunity is now here. And you just got to be humble enough to open up your mental aperture, right? Your spiritual aperture, your emotional aperture, to see it. And just like occurred here, there were a few guys who were like, opportunities nowhere. And in the back, it was like, oh, no, opportunity is now. Oh, well. And now we all see it. Opportunity is now here, right? Just a real simple mental prompt. But hopefully you take that lesson, because you're gonna have times this season. You all know it. Individually, might be an injury you have to overcome. Okay, brakes aren't going for you. Backs up against it a little bit. Opportunity is now here, and it always is. It always is. You have to just recognize it. Okay, and this is something I told myself when I had guys die in combat. And I always was able to find the opportunity. Okay? That's how powerful that can be if you practice it. Okay? So the next one. What's that say? Begin the journey, right? And every season has a lifespan of 1 year-ish. Right? This year is going to come and go. And it'll never be the same again. You'll never have the same group of people. The makeup, the chemistry, it'll never, ever, ever be the same. You got 1 year to live. Imagine that. Imagine somebody came to you and said, you got 1 year to live. Might you choose a little bit differently in that year? Yeah, you might. And here's what I challenge you to do. You should begin the journey always. Always. Be in the journey. You should begin the journey. Always be in the journey. Be present. Soak it up. Just like it's 1 year to live. You better believe you would be dialed in every effing day of your life for that 1 year, wouldn't you? You would be in it. You would be present. You would appreciate things. You would taste, you would smell, you would feel, you would see things completely differently in ways you'd never done before in your life because you were in it. So that's the next challenge. Be in the journey. As you begin this journey, be in the journey, fellas, and be in it with each other. And more importantly, right, because good teams play with each other. Great teams play for each other. Okay? So those are two things I want to just kind of start off with. All right, everybody, I want you to listen closely now, right? It's like Simon says, I want you to raise your hand as high as you can. As high as you can. Okay? All right, a little higher. Little bit more. Okay, put it down. You started at one spot. I said, I want you to raise your hand as high as you can. Pretty simple. And then I said a little higher. And just about everybody, I think, actually raised it a little higher. And then I prompted you one more time, like a little higher. And it went up like a little higher. Now, I'm not going to give you any answers, but ask yourself why. It was pretty simple. Raise your hand as high as you can. And none of you did. You're going to be asked a lot of things. You get asked a lot of things every single day of your life. Ask yourself, are you doing it as well as you can to the best of your ability that God gave you? And where that ability stops, what other things are you doing to further maximize that potential? Be it leaning on a teammate, helping a teammate up, whatever it may be. What's going to allow you, when you need to do something, to not leave any little extra bit in the tank? Raise your hand as high as you can. Before I left the gate for every mission, that was just a little mental prompt for me and my guys. Get everybody around, issue the instructions or whatever, and then I'd say, okay, it's time to raise our hands. That's it. That's all I had to say. Just a little thing to dial everybody in, you know, whatever that is, okay? But everybody understood really what that meant, okay? So that's the other thing. All right, up here, all right? I don't know whether you can recite it by memory or not, okay? But that is phenomenal. That's saying who you say you are, or at least who you say you want to be, right? And each one of us has our own narrative, right? We tell ourselves like kind of who we think we are. Hey, I think I'm a really good lefty. You know, I got a great lefty banger. You know, I'm an awesome defenseman. I'm a great student. I'm an incredible son. I'm a great teammate, right? We all tell ourselves certain things, and we all put, there's been a locker room in my life that I haven't been in where there aren't like words and phrases and things that we say we are. We say we're gonna be. This is what we do. This is how we comport ourselves. I haven't been in a single locker room where at least something isn't up hanging, okay? This happens to be like PhD Nobel Peace Prize level stuff up here. Because this is all stuff that's, you can strip lacrosse out of it. This is about being a winner for life. Okay, so this is good stuff. This is like a gift. Think about who you say you are as a person, as a player, as a teammate. Think about that for a second. If somebody were to come ask you, if you're talking to your parents, girlfriend, buddy back on the block, ESPN guy comes up and sticks a thing in your face. Think about what kind of team you all have told each other you want to be. What type of team you all have told each other that you are. Now here's a trick on how to maybe bring that to life. Put it into practice literally each and every day. Here's the next challenge for you, okay? All right, I'm not giving you too many answers, I'm just giving you a bunch of challenges, okay? But I know you guys are men of character who can call to that challenge. If you were tried, would you be convicted? You have the mental image of yourself. You have what you tell yourself you are and who you want to be. An individual and a team. Goals, individual, team. You're going to get tried, because that's what life does. Will you be convicted of that? When somebody comes to you and says, show me the evidence, call witnesses to the stand, Hey, I want to be an All-American. Okay. Where are your witnesses? Where's your evidence? Where's the forensics? Show me a gallon of sweat that you put into it so far. Would you be convicted? Ask yourself that each and every day. It's a great way to kind of center yourself and re-anchor yourself in what you tell yourself is important. Because if the answer is no at the end of the day, the good news is, good Lord willing, you at least get one more whack at it, and it's called tomorrow. But don't count on tomorrow, ever, ever, okay? As young as you are, trust me, for all sorts of reasons. And too many tomorrows strung together where that answer ain't a good one doesn't get you to where you want to be, but you do get convicted of just somebody and something that you never said you wanted. You with me? Okay. Next one. As you're making choices along that journey of trying to be convicted, of seeing opportunity, of being in the journey, here's a great thing to balance you out a little bit. Because you're faced with tough choices every single day. You gotta prioritize, right? Okay? Always step back, take a breath, just for a second. When you're faced with choices, whether it's to get up on time, whether it's to get up here for the wall ball even though you're tired, whether it's to go ahead and give the extra effort on the last sprint, whatever it may be, okay? Whether it's to be a man of your word to your girlfriend or your parents or whatever, okay? Love your future self as much or more as you do your current self. Love your future self as much or more than you do your current self. And if you really do that, chances are in your favor that you're going to make the right choice on that particular day. Because you realize whatever you do on that day becomes the choice that you make, and you are a product of the choices over time that you make, right? Or you can look back in the rearview mirror and go, man, that dude really loved himself each and every day, but I wish he would have given a F about me at the end of the year and what I'd be looking like and feeling like. I wish he would have cared enough about me 10 years into the future when you're looking back and you're thinking about the choices that you made because it felt good, because it was easy, whatever the reasons are, right? We can rationalize it all we want. Coach and I were talking at lunch, right? And what was the coach? Don't try to fool anybody, and you're the easiest person to fool. Right? Don't fool yourself because you're the easiest one to fool. Love your future self as much or more than you do your current self. Okay? All right. Last one here. I'm going to talk to you now a little bit about what my experience is. Okay? Because I come back here for a couple of reasons. Okay? One, because I talk about guys who died. Right? And I made a commitment that I was going to make whatever they had done and the sacrifice that they made matter. That was number one. And number two, I wanted to make sure, as part of that, that to the extent I could, I would always give back to one of the foundational things that mattered in my life, and it was my time spent on the Army Lacrosse team and the things that I had learned, okay? And I'm telling you, I leaned on that a lot in my life, okay? I lean on it today to the extent that I owe so much that even if I had the money to build this center, right, I still am in debt, okay? So I give back what I can. And thank God that Coach is a man who opens up the program and actually allows me to do that, because quite frankly, I don't know what else I'd do otherwise, okay? You will lean on this group in ways that you can't even begin to imagine, that will shadow anything that you do during your time here in terms of how you're gonna need to lean on each other. In hard times, 2 or 3 games maybe don't go your way in a particular seat, right? And now your back's up against the wall, you gotta lean on each other, okay? And I've seen it happen in good and bad, and that's the beautiful thing of it. The sharing that can occur, all right? A true love for one another, okay? I come back here from a very, very selfishly unselfish standpoint. Because for me, it's literally like coming back and getting, like a complete blood transfusion. Just get all of whatever, I gotta wash it away and get rebirthed into this thing called Army Lacrosse. This is a transfusion for me. Just to be around you guys, to smell the freaking shitty smell in the locker room that you can't find anywhere else in the world, right? I'm telling you, man, it just, I can't even explain it, right? And I wish to God I could be here maybe 20 years from now, and one of you guys are now here doing what I'm doing, and I go, you see? You understand now what I mean? And you'd be like, yeah, oh yeah, I get it, okay? Try to get it a little bit earlier, though. Because the one thing that I didn't get while I was here, really get, was that. And had we, as a collective, I would have been better, and we would have been better as a collective. So all I can do is just ask you a favor and try to get what I'm telling you. And I realize I'm not articulating it well because there is no way to articulate something that is that visceral and deep. I don't have the skill to do it, okay? But here's one thing that I will offer to you, because there are other people who kind of get close in the world, okay? And it's an excerpt from a poem, and this is what I'm finishing with, okay? And it's a poem, and I believe the title of the poem is called Creed, and it's actually out of the book that I talked to you about, Coach. And it says this: there is a destiny that makes us brothers. None goes his own way alone. All that we send into the lives of others comes back into our own. I'll read that one more time for you. There is a destiny that makes us brothers. None goes his own way alone. All we send into the lives of others comes back into our own. And I found that to be exceptionally true in the case of Army Lacrosse. Not West Point. I'll talk about that. I've never been to a class reunion. Not because I hate it, not because, but in the scheme of life, I mean, I got to make choices, right? And I got to make sure I love my future self more than I do my current self. I'll get in the car, I'll wake up at 5 in the morning, and I'll drive up here to be with you this afternoon before I go to any class reunion weekend to watch the football team and all the other stuff, right? It doesn't matter that much. Some people on the outside have and will tell me I've got it all wrong. I've got it flipped around. I'm not saying I don't appreciate it. I'm not saying it wasn't important. I'm not saying it wasn't foundational to who I am today. It absolutely was, and I do nothing different. But compared to this, not even close, guys. So enjoy the fucking hell out of it. Enjoy the hell out of it. Love each other. Compete for each other. Opportunity is now here. You just gotta seize it. I look forward to watching you guys, talking to you some more over the weekend, and then watching you guys this season. Hopefully definitely get up on the game. So thank you very much, okay? God bless you, and just stick with each other, okay? Stick with each other. It means a lot. Thanks.